morning, everybody. Hi. I made sure that we were not muted this time. Hi, everyone. How are you? Welcome to the channel. If this is your first time here, hi, how's it going? This is a charity channel, and this is a viewer-affected game that we are about to play. We are going to be playing Nexus Adventures, a D&D 5e homebrew campaign out of the brain of our lovely DM and us as players, because we build the world collaboratively, because it's fun. If you would like to know more about that, you can check the About Me section down below on Twitch. All of my money from Twitch goes to the trevorproject.org, so if you'd like to influence our games with your bits and your subs, you are more than welcome to do so. There are specific rewards to that listed below in the Twitch About Me section. If you can't affect our game financially, that's cool too. We understand. You can look in the same section, and there will be channel point redemption options. As well as when you click the channel point redemption option in chat. So just hang out with us a little while, earn some channel points, and you can gift us things too, like advantages and health potions and things that we really, really need to keep us alive because we do really dumb things in combat. With that, I'm going to go ahead and hand it on over to our DM to take us around the table through our introductions.
Hello, everyone. As lovely Sarah has said, I am your DM for the day. My name is Satan, or Alyssa Vamp on the internet, but that's enough about me. You know what's really cool? My friends that are here playing this game with me. So let's start off with some introductions. I'm going to start with our wonderful and amazing guest for this arc. So Chris, who are you and who are you playing?
Hi everyone, my name's Chris Geary, and I am playing Vordrek, the Grave Tender, who is a dwarven, grave tender. He works the night shift, and he's seen some things, but he's also a wonderful cook. So with that introduction, I will pass it along to whoever's next.
Whoever's next is RJ. We'll go through our same order.
Hey everybody, I'm RJ, and today I'm playing Rollin Granbrook, the Sorcerer Bard, and we both go by he/him.
Amazing. And Jen?
I'm Jen. I will be playing Anthony Silverhorn, the Artificer Barbarian. He goes by he, him, and I go by she, her.
And last but certainly not least, our lovely producer and host, Sarah.
Hey, y'all. My name's Sarah. I go by she, her pronouns. I will be playing Lucy, the Changeling Wizard Warlock, who primarily uses she, her pronouns, but that is subject to change depending on who she's pretending to be.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm your DM for the day. I'm going to be everybody else in the world. I go by she, they pronouns. We're going to do things a little differently. Usually I give a recap of what happened last session, but I'm going to turn that over to my players. And the person that gives me a recap is going to get DM inspiration. And we're going to treat that as a max bardic inspiration. That's going to be a D12 to add to any skill check or attack roll. So I think we decided it was going to be Jen.
It's going to be me. All right. So last time there was a series of investigations spreading out into the city and talking to the officials, such as the leader of, I believe we're in Oakar, aren't we? Make sure that's actually correct.
Are in fact no part, yeah.
Yeah. Oakar. Sorry, there's 3 different oaks running through my head. I had to make sure it was the right one. And we talked to the leader of Oakheart, a wonderful orcish leader who has a very young disposition, and she's doing very well for her first time around. And Lucy and Rylan go out and talk to the guard cabin and gather some more information about the disappearances and the reappearances of these various people who have been infected by this strange mycelium mushroom spread of, who knows, disease, curse. We're still investigating that. But the group kind of reconvenes and we push into the cemetery and find ourselves going towards the backside of the cemetery, where Anthony kind of leads a series of markings and trail paths they could follow back should they need to. And eventually they cross between a boundary between the material plane and the feywilds, where they encounter a couple pixies who cause a bunch of mischievous fun times. Anthony twigs onto something being out there in the forest and hopes it's nothing too nefarious as they kind of follow it deeper into the woods. After some much negotiation with these pixies and doing what pixies do best, they agreed to some terms, and they were going to lead the group towards a bigger, possibly better, or just curious entity that kind of controls this section of the Feywild.
With that, you're technically not in the Feywild. You're still technically in Oakheart. I'm not sure what's going on yet, but as you go to investigate what's going on, you are being led by two pixies. One who decided their name was going to be Charlotte because they asked for a name and they got the name Charlotte. And one that you're not really sure what's their deal. They haven't talked. They've just been writing, well, the other Charlotte. The mechanical, what was it?
Whereas
The mechanical Remoraz that Anthony has. Well, the other one's writing Peanut. Because who wouldn't want to ride a little Galaxy Blink dog?
10 out of 10, he is the best steed right now.
Oh, best steed.
Absolute.
This Charlotte's the pixie. Charlotte the pixie is having a heck of a time. There we go. You hear them. They're clearly taking you like the long way because they're having so much fun riding these little creatures. So they're like going in circles, which, to be honest, are not that big because they're small. And like weaving through the trees. And as you keep going forward, you do notice, especially you, Vordrek, because you're so familiar with these wounds, things start changing. Plants have a different coloration. There are leaves whose shape you've never seen before. Flowers that shouldn't grow here are growing here, and things aren't exactly how they should be. It is still your forest, but there seems to be something changing it. So, 1 second.
Bless you.
Thank you. Eventually, you see both pixies with the one on the tiny mechanical Remoraz, and the one on Peanut stop. You see the path that before there was no exact path. There were some bits of the ground that left the tiniest hint of a desire trail, which is like when people go off the path and create a path. But it was mostly overgrown. Now you see this sort of like tunnel made out of these weaving branches. It's not too long, maybe a few feet. But there's these beautiful like vines with sprouting bright, vibrant flowers that obscure what's through the tunnel.
So we're going through that tunnel then.
Huh?
Is there anything we should be expecting in said tunnel or out of said tunnel?
Huh?
Is it anything that we need to offer a gift to?
Well, that definitely wouldn't hurt.
Is it a portal, the tunnel?
In layman's terms,
yes.
kind of.
Are you just trying to agree with me because you think that's the answer I want? Or is that actually...
I can't lie.
That is true. They don't lie, but they do mislead.
Yep.
Oh. And giving me the answer I want rather than the answer I need is problematic.
Well, technically, it's not wrong.
Rollin goes into his bag and pulls out a little peppermint ball. So, say I were to hand this over. It's very sweet. Would you be willing to disclose some information about what's in the tunnel?
Well, you see them like instantly attach themselves to the peppermint ball. I would have done it either way. You just have to ask the right questions. You don't know how to ask the right question. None of you know how to ask the right questions, really.
But if none of us know how to ask the right questions, then how are you going to answer us if I'm going to bribe you?
I don't know. That sounds more like a you problem.
So what's in the
Maybe.
tunnel?
Maybe we could pay them to tutor us in how to ask the right questions rather than bribe them for the answer. If we get it wrong, you can direct us on how we should have better worded what we said. How's that sound? There's more candy in it for you. How do you feel about chocolates? Pulls out a bag of chocolates from Hazelbridge.
You see both pixies are back in and there's the one that named themselves Charlie, and they have like this really nice purple long it's not really clothing. They very much look creatures made out of petals and stems and flowers. And this one seems to resemble more like those little wisteria vines. So they have a lot of little flowers and small dangly bits. And the other one, whose name is unknown, you're not sure if they have one, is based off of hyacinths. So they have these little purple and pink flowers everywhere. They have these really big, like 2 pom-poms on their head of just hyacinths. I like chocolates.
I do too. Some of them have flicker in them, so you have to be careful. Those are best for later.
Why are you hiding sweets from me? I think I deserve sweets.
I don't think you deserve sweets.
I don't think you deserve sweets either. You live in Hazelbridge just like I do. You can go there and get them anytime you want from the chocolatier. These are for me. They're from Jack.
I've been busy.
That's not my problem.
Just because someone's not giving you something doesn't mean they're hiding it from you. I've been told many times.
That is true. Maybe if he had asked the right question, he would have gotten some previously.
If you had asked the right questions, did you ask, hey, do you have chocolates? Did you have, hey, what kind of chocolates? Did you ask, hey, can I have those chocolates?
Exactly. Here's a non-alcoholic one. She'll pull out one of the smaller ones that are more like hand size for the pixies.
Yeah. It's just still like a really big, like, it's just like.
Mm-hmm. Lucy's also going to teach the pixie how to do a fist bump with just like one knuckle.
They like that.
Mm-hmm. So, what should we have asked about the tunnel, in your opinion?
Well, you asked if there is something. What did you ask? I don't know.
I think we asked if there was we asked what was in the tunnel, or is the tunnel a portal?
Yeah. You asked if the tunnel's a portal. I said in layman's term, that would be basically is but not is. You're not really going to like a different plane. It's more like a different time and space.
So more like a temporal rift?
Sort of.
I read about those in a book.
Was it my book?
No, actually, it was a very smutty book, but there was a lot of science in it. I really enjoyed it.
That's how Jack gets her to learn about science.
If you'd like to read it, I have it with me. It's in my bag.
Yeah, later.
We're asking yes or no questions.
So we should ask for explanations rather than yes or no questions.
Exactly. If you ask me, is there something we should worry about through that? I'm going to say yes.
What should we worry about in there? Hands another chocolate over. Like what?
Take the chocolate. The flora and the fauna and the fae and us and the trees. Oh, I already said flora. Trees are like bigger. Yeah.
if we look at it like a hierarchy, is there someone we should talk to in there over the others for safe passage?
Yes.
Who would
Well,
that?
if you go through the little portal with your terms for it, with us, you have safe passage because you are going in with us. If not, you would be probably crazed and go out of your mind.
Well, thank heavens for that.
You're very welcome. Thank us for that.
I think I will. Hands over more chocolate.
It's just like you're giving it to them faster than they can eat. I'm like, oh god, this is so much. I love this.
My
They
apologies
seem to
here.
stuff it. No, they stuff it in like a little bag. It doesn't seem to actually fit in the
Mhm.
bag until they give a little push. It's just boop, just goes in.
Lucy was going to give them a clean sock to use as a carrying case.
I got a little leaf bag.
I love these pixies. All right, then. Lead the way, I suppose.
Yes, ride your dog.
Of course.
That's what it's called, right? A dog?
Yes, he is a dog.
Okay. Onwards, noble steed. You see as they like get on Peanut again. But if you guys are ready, they will take you through this little tunnel. And as they take you through it, you see there are some of these flowering vines in the through the entrance, but you can still see through them. So you pass them, and these flowers feel very soft to the touch, very silky. And as you pass through the tunnel, you see the light coming in through the empty spaces between the branches that intertwine. They're giving it this beautiful glow that lights up the inside of the tunnel. And as you keep walking, most of you notice that these branches and vines that intertwine to create this structure keep moving as if they are creating endlessly. They're not attacking. They're not, they don't seem hostile, but you see them creep over themselves and twist and turn and go over and create, and maybe patch up another part of the tunnel. And as you watch this gently, you see that these branches become brighter and greener and full of flowers, and there's this lovely scent, floral scent, sweet scent, that eventually passes through your nostrils. And you hear the pixies, make sure to keep your wits about you. And as you reach towards the end, it is not a long tunnel. As you're reaching towards the end, you feel a slight shift within yourself. It's barely noticeable. But as you pass through this curtain of flowering vines at the end, the sun almost blinds you for a moment. Much brighter than it was just a moment ago. The skies are bright. Clouds just slightly decorating it. And as your vision comes back to you, you see this clearing. Beautiful flowering clearing. You see small creatures moving through it, both pixie-like and forest creatures. It is a little home. You see small spaces within the trees that have been carved out. Small, some small, others larger. There seems to be a variation. There are little ponds and a beautiful babbling brook that runs through it. Seems peaceful, joyful.
Oh, lovely home you have all here.
Yep. What would you like to do?
Well, first and foremost, we should probably introduce ourselves to whoever leads here, if that's how your hierarchy works.
That one's smart.
He has his moments.
Squints.
What? Sometimes you say some very silly things.
In
Silly
jest.
things are the best things to say.
Mm-hmm.
So, would you like to do that now or later?
Sooner the better, I would think.
Hmm.
Sooner the better. All right. Well,
Let's just go straight to the boss fight.
straight to the boss fight.
Ron's gonna lean over to Vordrek. Vordrek, do any of this plant life look like anything that's been growing around your graveyard?
That's an excellent question. Does any of it look familiar?
The plant life itself, from a glance, it does not. This is.
This all looks foreign.
Yeah.
Now, does any of it look like some of the weird stuff that was bleeding over?
Please make me an investigation check.
Investigation. Can I petition for nature?
You can. I think that's fair.
18.
18. Nice. There are patterns and colorations that do seem to repeat itself in some of the flora here. That you've seen from the small bits of flowers and other greenery that has bled through. So you can deduce that this is the source of those things.
Okay. I will relay that to the rest of or to Raylan, who asked. And we're not an Oakart anymore. And if we are, it's not an Oakart that I know.
Good to know.
This little clearing is in fact very much bursting with new flora and greenery and life. It is beautiful. It is disorienting. It is a sight for sore eyes, especially one that does like to catalog and study flora. This is a treasure hoard that you found of new flora to explore. So you have your wits about you.
Lucy's going to try and sending Jack with her sending stone earring.
Okay. What are you saying?
Am I still in the Oakart area, according to the necklace I gave you?
What does it mean if it's blinking?
I don't know.
You need to recharge it.
You have to charge this thing?
Not that I'm aware of. Can you note the location on a map?
I mean, sure. I mean, you're still in Oakart. It seems you're further out in the borders of it.
Thanks. Notate it as accurately as you can.
Will do.
Love you, bye.
Love you, bye.
Anthony has drawn some of the floral and fauna into a little sketchbook that he has, and he's writing down the various details of this area.
As you look, you maybe just kind of like turn a little bit. You don't step away from the group, but you kind of lean in to look at this flora. Not too close, as you are aware of dangers. But as you lean in, some of these new, vibrant, luscious flowers start kind of rustling a little bit, and you see two eyes poke out at you.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
He pauses and then continues in Sylvan. What can I call you?
Pretty.
Pretty. That's a lovely name.
They just kind of like hide back, and you see the flower kind of turn back into just a natural flower. Seems these pixies' natural camouflage is looking like flowers.
Look around in his pocket and pull out some what to be like honey candy and sets it like kind of in a groove that they can reach.
You just see a little hand just come out and it's funny you see the whole kind of like, because this is more of like a bush of flowers. The whole kind of bush seems to kind of like shiver for a bit, but like a good like kind of like fluff up.
Smiles and makes a note and then closes his book and turns back towards the group. This is lovely.
I thought their name was pretty.
Oh, yes, their name is pretty.
So you want to meet Big Boss Head Honcho?
Yes.
Yes, that would be best, I think.
Okay.
What are they like?
Like themselves?
What is their temperament?
Depends.
Do they enjoy meeting outsiders?
Not recently.
Have other outsiders found their way here? Good to know.
And they just kind of look with, you see them like kind of, this is like the most still they've been. And they kind of look at you, these big black, almost bug eyes, kind of looking at you for a moment. They kind of start zooming off without another word. I'll leave you there for a few minutes. Is there anything that you're discussing?
For the most part, Rollin is keeping an eye out on the flora, taking note of, that's poisonous. That one's also poisonous. That one's poisonous in moderation.
You know, Mishka would be having a field day right now.
That's why he's taking notes. He's gonna send this information over.
Yeah.
Did both pixies leave?
Yeah, both pixies left. You're
Okay.
assuming there's others around you that you may not be able to see.
Gotcha.
Big Anthony turns towards the group. Banner should take me to the Feywild, right?
I mean, if you want to go, why not?
I want to go.
Okay, then go.
Never really thought he. I just assumed he would naturally want to introduce me to his world.
Anthony, you don't like it when people change your breakfast order. Why would you assume that he would assume...
Breakfast is a sacred thing. That is different.
You do understand how someone as stubborn as you could be seen as not wanting to travel to strange new worlds, right?
I technically traveled through 3, 4, he pulls out his notes, 5 different new worlds in the past 6 months.
Not
I'm fine
willingly.
with it.
Not
Yeah,
willingly,
well,
and if I remember correctly, you grumped all the way through them and looked for the fastest way back.
Well, yes, but I went. This is something I want to go with. I mean, I want
Did
to
they
know.
have subpar breakfast?
Yes.
Well, then I would want to go back too.
Kind of points to Vordrek. He gets it.
Just tell Fanor that you want to go. Same as when you wanted to talk to the Lady of Twilight and kept waiting for an invitation. If you want to do something, just tell someone that you want to do it. That's what I tell Jack all the time.
Politeness. It's really a politeness thing.
Well, knock it off. It's annoying.
Yes. Fine. I'm going to tell Fanor I want to see his world. I want to actually know what this is like.
Can I come too?
Yeah. We can bring Vera. We could do a family outing. Fantastic. Good deal.
Right. Family vacation. Got it.
I should renew my travel visa.
You have to have a visa.
You mean you don't have one?
We're just gonna
No.
go wherever we want.
I have these. And Lucy just holds up a handful of counterfeit identifications plus her court badge. Do those count?
I mean, that's fine if no one's looking too hard into it.
What? I mean, I can look
actually
like one
have
of them at
legal
any time.
documents.
As you're discussing this, I would say most likely Rollin and Bordrick and Anthony, not Lucy.
Rude. Can I at least roll perception before you roast me?
I didn't give your character 11 passive perception, okay? You don't roll for passive, that's why it's passive.
Reaching for the stress chocolate.
Welcome back.
Well, all of that is true. You don't have to call Lucy out about it.
Well, I have to say who notices and who doesn't. I'm just doing my part. Anyway,
I guess it's
everyone
better than
except-
just ignoring that Lucy's there.
That's true.
That would be very.
That'd
I
be
mean, that would
weird.
be fitting too.
Everyone except Lucy. You notice that there are more of these little pixies starting to kind of sprout in curiosity. Seemed they were taking their time as you came in. But they
Bordrick will
start
lean
kind of
over to Lucy and very quietly say, "Don't look now, but we're surrounded."
What? Oh. Hello.
see little eyes looking at you from all around. They're not necessarily right up close to you, but you see some that look genuinely like just straight up flowers floating through the air. Others kind of have unfolded, seems unceremonious, but more like have ditched the natural disguise. And while the flower parts are still attached to them as they are that sort of being, they kind of look more, they have a little bit more humanoid figure, arms, legs, little big black eyes.
Do
They're
I?
just looking at you all with curiosity.
Because I ad-libbed the chocolate in the moment. Do I have enough chocolate in my bag of holding that I could offer each one a piece of chocolate?
Lucy would definitely have more than 3 chocolates.
Okay.
So it is up to you how you divide that up.
Okay. Yeah. She will drop down to a knee carefully, depending on how crowded the space is, and offer each one a chocolate and just say,
Yeah.
"Hello, it's a pleasure to meet you."
It is not a crowded space at all.
Okay.
This is a big clearing.
I just don't want to
Um,
accidentally smush a pixie.
That's fair. They're not close enough to you where they're in your
Mm.
personal bubble. They're kind of like all very warily looking all of you curiously from like a safe distance. And as you pull out chocolate, you see like a lot of their eyes just kind of go to the chocolate.
I have enough to give each of you one, if you'd like.
There's a lot of pixies.
At least I think I do.
Rollin looks into his bag. I've got 4 more peppermints.
Lucy will start handing out chocolate and
Yeah.
saying hello.
You start handing out chocolate, and you actually see them start breaking off pieces and sharing it with one another. So they don't. One doesn't have like a big piece of chocolate
Mhm.
as big as their head. They kind of start breaking it off and start handing it out, so they can all have a little bit of chocolate, even if it's just a little bite.
Are there other friends of yours here that aren't comfortable coming and saying hello to us?
Are you speaking in Sylvan?
No. She doesn't. I don't think she knows Sylvan, does she? No, she
I
knows.
think the other one who knows Sylvan is Anthony.
If they don't understand her, she'll ask Anthony to translate.
I think Anthony has done the bird thing where he's put the honey sweets in each of his hands, just kind of holding his hands out, and he's just like, "This is nice. This
You
is really
just look
nice."
like you have bouquets of flowers in each hand, basically. And
And
there's
I
like
could-
a little train of people of the little pixies just sharing little pieces of candy.
Anthony, can
Passing
you
it back?
ask them if there's others that don't feel comfortable coming out to say hello?
Yeah, he'll say, repeat that in Sylvan, And he'll say in common, why couldn't we encounter these 15 years back?
Maybe you did and you just didn't notice.
No, that place was horrible. I doubt they would be there. These are too precious.
At the question, you see some of the blue candy in their mouth just nod.
Could you... Lucy's gonna hold up the remainder of the bag. Could you ask them if they would distribute these to their friends later? When they're comfortable coming out.
I'm assuming that Anthony's translating all
Mhm.
this.
Yeah.
You see a few pixies kind of like take the bag all together, maybe a little bit heavy for one of them. And you see them take the bag, and some of them start gathering sticks to kind of create this little bowl or a little plate, and they kind of put it out, start breaking it off. And you see some more creatures come out. Some of these, is brownies. Not the food, but the fey creature. Others are almost like little tiny versions of like, you're not really sure. They have like these little like floppy noses, almost elephant-like, and these big eyes and like floppy ears. And then you start seeing forest creatures that have fauna on them, like they grew. That's part of their natural foliage. And eventually, you start seeing more humanoid creatures from trees within this clearing, or that surround this clearing. You see the bark shift and change, and kind of like a face come out.
I think when he sees those, Anthony tenses for a moment, then relaxes. He's like, yeah, I remember those. Them?
Dryads.
Yeah. I couldn't remember the entire what Dryads did, but he remembers enough about them to be wary of them.
Lucy's just gonna sit on the ground in her true face, just watching.
It's really funny because like opposite, you're surrounded by pixies, and away from you, maybe 10, 15, 20 feet, a dryad comes out and almost sits mirroring you, as they are also surrounded by pixies, and they're eating some of the sweets that were left out. And this dryad, it's a willow dryad, so you see that they have this hair that just covers almost their entire, like you see their body, but this hair that's long, vine-like hair that covers. You see like peaks of the face. And you see them kind of like move their hair and just look at you all, and just starts eating the candy.
Anthony, can you translate for me and let them know it's a pleasure to meet them?
He nods and he'll say, it's a pleasure to meet all of you.
As you say that, all the little pixies kind of like they stand up, even though they're floating in the air, they kind of stand up straight and just give a bow. And after a while, more creatures start to come out. The little brownies are around you. The little like weird like elephant floppy eared creatures are around you. They're small, not big. Some of the animals are around you, and eventually, from this tree that's towards the end of the clearing, it's a rather large tree that has twisting branches that create the trunk, it seems, and they grow and twist over all of them and almost create part of a canopy over some of this clearing. It has bright, multicolored flowers in some of its branches. Seems that it's almost as if it was in fall, at least this one tree. As the flowers and leaves that are part of it seems to they're starting to fall off. It's starting to shed its flora. But out of this tree, not necessarily like the dryads, comes out bigger, more awe-inspiring creature, and I'll send y'all a picture of it. Of the creature, the person, really. You see this beautiful blue, green, and white humanoid come out. Their bodies made out of leaves and vines and flowers, and these organic natural flora creates shapes of a humanoid. You see strange leaf-like blooms kind of come out and create the foliage on their head that may resemble hair. Vines twisting and turning from behind the back of their head to imitate the longer hair in the back. These big, almost monstera-like leaves that create the torso and create this very elegant silhouette. Some blooms coming out from their hips as vine, not a vine, but root-like structure, very identical to the tree that they came out. It kind of wraps around their waist and their arms.
Have our two little pixie guys returned with them?
Yeah, you see two pixies floating near them. And it takes a while since the clearing is pretty big, but they make their way. And as they walk towards you all, you see all the pixies and the dryads and the creatures kind of stand up a little taller. And they give a bow. And the creature walks towards all of you. Butterflies almost dancing around them. Hello.
Are they saying hello in common or in Sylvan?
In Sylvan at first.
He will translate and address this being in Sylvan and say, "Hello, we've come to talk to you. I believe you about certain things that have been going on in the town we're visiting in."
Look you over, then look Rollin over.
And gives them
Vordrek.
a small bow.
Mhm. And look at Vordrek over. And look at Lucy.
Lucy will stand and bow as well. Peanut also bows next to his mom. He does that dog
Adorable.
butt in the air bow.
Yeah. This time they speak in common. Your human affairs or mortal affairs are no issue of mine.
We understand that not many of them may be, but there have been fey-like things happening in the city we've been visiting, and we're concerned that if they continue, people from there may venture here, either intentionally or unknowingly.
I already have.
What
And I
did
will say I do not have a high praise of your kind from the visits. She'll generally they'll motion to all of you, not necessarily just you, Lucy.
My apologies. It's my understanding that many don't even know that all of you are here. What, if you don't mind, when exactly did others wander in? If you know about when that was material plane time. I'm not sure if time here is different for you.
Time here is finicky. Time isn't really constant. Why could I tell you these details? I'm not sure what you're seeking from us, from me.
People have been going randomly missing and turning up hurt and in pain from places that don't appear to have any tie to the forest or to here. We've been asked to investigate, and Vordrek here is probably the expert on the situation as far as what we're trying to find.
From the other side. I can't say that I'm the expert on this side of the situation.
Well, no, but you know the symptoms better than we do, and you've seen them firsthand in the victims.
Yes, absolutely.
That's
But
what.
just to clarify for the audience,
For the audience, for the creature. And why should I concern myself with the well-beings of yours?
Well, go ahead, Anthony.
Simply put, should this concern grow, people on the other side will continue to push into your territory. And it will become larger and larger. And I'm sure you're familiar with the 15 years past.
I'm not from this plane. In time, the entryway in your plane will move, shift.
So your location here on our plane isn't permanent.
No,
Does it shift often?
when it feels like it.
Well, the ruler of this continent as a whole in our plane governs a... Anthony, is it a demiplane?
It's a demiplane.
Demiplane.
More or less.
That is both feywild and not feywild, and has lived with the inhabitants here for thousands of years, I believe.
I am aware. The existence of this demon place, one of the reasons my grove has started shifting from place to place.
If you are open to helping us, we'd be open to assisting you in providing protection as this home of yours shifts from place to place. I understand it won't be easy to track where it may move to, but opening a line of communication could help prevent people from accidentally wandering in and disturbing you, should you want that.
I don't need protection. What I need is for material planers to mind their own business.
I have
I have a question. Does your plane open portals in random places?
Sometimes, yes. It attaches itself to different openings
Then
in this plane.
how would a naive mortal know that they were entering?
They wouldn't. Not until they entered it.
But not knowing where they were, they may not know how to return either, correct?
Correct.
I only say this because it sounds to me like many of these mortals are not maliciously entering or even curiously entering. They're accidentally entering.
They are. And we've been returning them to you.
But they are coming back harmed.
That is not our fault.
Do you know what is harming them?
This land.
I'm sorry, what?
This land.
The land
My
harms them?
land.
That is unfortunate.
Yes.
Have they broken the laws of hospitality?
I don't think your kind know the laws of hospitality. And if they did, they wouldn't care.
Most mortals are too naive to know the laws of hospitality.
Yes.
And he'll then look or lean over to Lucy and say, "What are the laws of hospitality?"
I don't know.
Shit.
Leans over. It's rule of 3. Hospitality, reciprocity, and ownership.
Oh. So those things my patron has been yelling at me all this time
Are actually really important, yes.
Oh.
Super important.
Forgive
Yes.
my frankness. Is there a name by which we can call you?
You may call me Flora.
Forgive my frankness, Flora, but I fail to understand how you don't see how this is a problem that people are being returned back to the home plane harmed.
Well, we've been returning them to you as soon as we can. The harm that has been inflicted upon them is not. It is by our doing, but not by our doing.
Is there something that they're doing while they're here that's triggering the harm to become active?
I would like, because all of you have done wonderfully, you can pick someone to make a persuasion check.
It should not be me because I'm so close to
And they
going
will
off
have
on this
advantage.
I only get a
So-
+2 in persuasion. Does anyone have higher?
+7. I'm the bard.
Yep, I have a +3.
Sorry, RJ, it's you.
Motherfucking freshen. Rudder. 23.
See, what you would assume would represent their eyebrow kind of quirk. I see the harm that has happened is not well known.
It's being kept under wraps by the government.
We
I believe
assume.
we assume they're trying to keep things from escalating any further.
I'm not talking about your mortal friends or beings.
What are you talking about then?
You see some of the creatures kind of gather around her, almost around them, almost protectively, as some of the tree like roots that are wrapped around their waist start moving and open up, and you see this horrible slash across their sternum that drips this inky purplish ichor from it.
What on earth did that?
Why? Your people did. See
How
that
long
returning
ago?
your people slightly harmed has been nothing but a grace from us. I would assume you people on the mortal plane are capable enough of treating your sick. Are you not? Maybe I've overestimated your kind.
Sick is one thing. Destroying someone's organs is another.
This isn't it.
Did that person do extra harm here somehow to deserve such a fate?
I do not control where this infection lays its claim. But I can tell you it started with my wounding.
What caused the wound? A sword?
Swords. Burning blade. That causes a wound I cannot heal. That in turn causes my land to hurt and protect itself and attack outsiders.
Would
With
go ahead.
with your permission, may I inspect your wound? I'm a court physician for the Lady of Twilight.
A long pause and a hard stare from this
If
person.
you don't mind, I'd like for the Lady of Twilight to see what has happened here as well. She can look through my eyes as she is my patron. If that is all right with you.
And what is your end goal here?
One, to see if there's anything that the court knows of that can heal that. And two, to find the person with the burning sword who did that.
I'm under oath to help anyone injured, so there's that.
I got a persuasion check with advantage because he got a 22 or 23 last time.
Another persuasion.
I'm so excited over all this. I'm so happy.
Lucy is now pissed.
How's a 30 do ya?
30.
I swapped
Too high.
my brain
Too
swapped
high.
performance and
High.
persuasion. I actually have a plus 10 on persuasion.
Hi.
Hello, I'm here to talk.
Yeah. They look you over. And we promise no harm will befall upon me and mine.
That's never been nor will it ever be our intention.
Intentions are tricky.
On my honor as a court physician, as well as, well, my honor as a person. No harm during this inspection will befall you or your own.
Let's for you to take a look.
Is she giving permission for the Lady of Twilight?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not gonna like roll
okay, yeah.
because like I'm the same person.
I get it. But there will be a call to the Lady of Twilight.
Yeah.
Are you awake?
Oh wait, what can I do for you?
Are you aware that there's a domain similar to yours that shifts near Hazelbridge?
There are many fate occurrences that happen that we cannot control nor track.
We are in one now, and it seems to be where the issues in Oakhart are originating. Someone there with a flaming sword attacked Flora, the leader here. She's injured and she can't heal herself. I was hoping that you could take a look and you may either know a remedy or could relay it to Fanor.
I can.
All right. I'm ready when you are.
For a moment, you see Lucy's eyes close and you see them turn into this black, this eyes with black sclera and red irises. Her posture straightens even more, shoulders down, head held high. As the Lady of Twilight takes over and leans and takes a step forward before giving a bow to this creature. And they walk up with Rollin. And they give their introductions and say, "No harm will befall you from my people." And looks to Rollin, and they exchange. And Rollin, please go ahead and make me a medicine check.
19.
19. As you look this one over, with the Lady of Twilight there, this wound, unlike humanoid skin, you see that their anatomy is very much made out of flora and other greenery and foliage. And it seems their skin acts as such you see that their structure has different layers visible to the eye of plant matter stacked on top of each other. The edges of the wound have been singed and burned, while the deepest part of the wound is still fresh. And you know, these disappearances, my bad, have been happening for a while. Easily for over a month, given what Vordrick told you. This wound is too fresh to be a month old.
Would he still think that, knowing that time here might move differently than on the material plane?
Yeah.
Okay.
The purpose of that sentence being like,
Okay.
this should have healed up in a month.
At least a monochrome, even
even if the time had been about a week in this time here, it should have healed up. This is like someone could have done it right now.
I think Anthony will step forward and call Soon to him, who's just covered in flower pixies, and kind of gently scoop them up and put them aside and kind of tap Soon and say, did the sword look like this? And Soon will display a static image of a blue kind of flamey sword with a black intense hilt.
No, it did not.
We'll tap Soon again and switches over to a sword wreathed in flame. Like that.
So it's not your typical flame.
Magical, most likely.
Of sorts. Though no magic I've seen before. It's more modern, more like that. She'll point to Soon.
He looks to Soon. An artificer did this.
Lucy's gonna ask. Yeah, Lucy's gonna ask the Lady of Twilight from inside the same noggin.
Yeah.
Can you ask if she recognizes or if she remembers the face or the armor that the person who hurt her wore?
He says yes and relays the questioning. And Flora seems takes a moment. I know no face of the person that did this. They wore a rather severe looking helmet. Obscure their looks.
With my 19 in medicine check, the nature of the wound, is it magic that's preventing it from healing, or is it constantly like reopening the wound?
It's a mixture, because you are aware of silver and what it does to Fae. And this is similar to those sorts of wounds. Now, while many wounds can have the silver extracted from them, this being a burn wound, it has nothing to extract. Whatever flames must have had a similar effect to silver, but in a way that it has affected the tissue around the wound so much that it cannot heal.
Basically, the silver is burnt into the wounds.
Mm-hmm. It is not something that is in the bloodstream that you could extract, or in a wound that you could extract. It is something that has been burned.
Turning his head over to Anthony, if you could probably look up someone who uses silver imbued flames, and he begins to cast a series of spells to try and remove the properties. He's using lesser restoration, greater restoration, remove curse, the suite.
Lucy's gonna take control of one of the arms, and I always imagine it's quite jerky when they're trying to control the body at once. But her hand's gonna go into the bag of holding and pull out the bandages that Jack makes for her and hand them to Rollin. So the arm just like, whop, whop. Let Len know those are for silver poisoning. I don't know if they'll
Those are
help.
for silver poisoning, she says.
I know one person. Looks towards Lucy, then kind of gives a bow. My lady, I think the court of Kalish might be involved in this.
Oh no, it's that motherfucker, isn't it?
Wait, which motherfucker? There were a lot of motherfuckers
I
there.
thought we blew up your lab though that had that weapon.
Nope, Anthony's general was very anti-Fae. Is very anti-Fae.
Oh right, him. But
There's nothing to do with the blow up of the laboratory.
That was just more to make sure no one accessed like his stuff. But no, there's a bunch of artificers in the Kalish court itself.
Rowan pumps 13 points of healing into Flora and then begins to wrap her side.
As you pump this healing, the greater restoration, lesser restoration, remove curse, it does help some of the wound start kind of like stitching itself back together. Yet you see that the tissue is so ruined that it doesn't react to it. It starts stitching, but it doesn't stick in a way.
Vordrick, do you know the spell plant growth?
You mute it.
I know of it. I don't have it prepared for the day.
Theoretically speaking, because these are floral-based entities, no offense, maybe a plant growth could reinvigorate some of the cells that have been damaged.
Well, if we want to go that route, that would be actually incorrect. What you would do with a plant. And he turns to the entity and says, not that you are a plant. But what you would do with a plant is you would
plant.
prune the damaged section to remove it completely from the plant so that it cannot impede future growth.
There's just a tapping at the back of the Lady of Twilight's mind.
Yes, Lucy.
The same can be done for severe burns. Remove the affected flesh and then graft something in its place. I saw
was
it in a
about to
book
recommend
once.
that.
And that is my best recommendation.
I don't think any of the anesthesia I have on hand would affect. Flora, to correct this wound, there might be a very painful procedure. We can talk the details of it at length, but I might be able to fix this wound. It is going to be a non-magical solution. It will take several hours. But if the information is correct, it should heal properly.
I'm healed. The land will be healed, and your people will no longer be hurt.
Another tapping at the back of the Lady of Twilight's mind.
I could just give you back your body.
Okay, well, I might need you to coordinate with Vanor, but
Okay,
can
well, we'll switch places. It's fine.
Okay.
She's now in the back of your head.
The eyes close for a minute, and it's back to Lucy's eyes. Okay, she's still here, but I'm in control. Ooh. I taste pennies. Okay. Anyways. What if we coordinate with Fanor? Is there a possibility that he could set up a mobile unit to come and assist you?
They'd have to come through Oakheart. That'll raise up more of a fuss if they're spotted.
I don't need more of a fuss to be made. I'm not looking for a war or for people to go against each other. I'm looking for peace, as in to
We-
be left alone in peace.
We have no issue or no intention of starting a war, and I really don't think that this would start a war. However, we might be able to get him here another way. Ezra could bring him through a tree.
Oh yeah.
We wouldn't have to necessarily leave the forest. We just need to stand close enough to the tree that Ezra scrying on us would familiarize Ezra with the tree.
I need to talk to Margaret.
I'll coordinate something with Master Feanor.
See the roots kind of wrap around their waist again.
A little bit higher up. Don't disturb the bandages.
They just it's more of like steadying their posture.
Their posture. Okay.
Yeah.
Thought she was
like,
getting like
keeping-
lifted
yeah.
away. I was like, no, don't do that. You're gonna
No,
open
no,
up
no.
the
She's
wound
just
again,
she's
please.
it's just the wrapping, the roots that were wrapped around their waist at first that opened up so you could see the wound. You can tell that they were there to protect the wound,
Okay.
keep things enwrapped, basically.
Well, Strut's also in town as well, so that's another medical professional that we can pull in. It's my understanding that they also have an understanding of Fey medical needs.
Would you like me to take a look at it?
By all means, a second
Mhm.
opinion is always worth its weight in gold.
Bordrick, you have like basically a flower crown on your head right now.
Vordrick has a +10 in medicine.
Yeah.
Nice.
Lucy has a +6, but that doesn't mean that she uses it.
And I don't-
Mean.
I-
You could be helping me.
She could. She's also proficient.
So about the same as what Raylan came up with.
Yeah.
Right.
You're able to incorporate more of your plant knowledge into it, and it seems that your theory is right. Very much like a plant, parts need to be pruned and taken away to help it regrow healthily.
Yeah, okay. That works.
So, first step of the plan, get those in here with the medical knowledge to assist the two of you in dealing with the wound first, and then continue on to finding whoever did this.
Good.
All right. Her head turns slightly. All right, you can go now if you want to start coordinating with Fanor and Ezra.
I will.
Thank you.
Feel that presence leave you. It's kind of like a shiver in the back
Mhm.
of your spine. Whew.
Peanut is just dancing around Flora, doing little bows over and over and over again.
I love Peanut. There's a little pixie and a brownie that come by, and they give you all this little piece of parchment. It's a very childlike drawing, but a drawing nonetheless. And you see someone with a scary helmet and a armor of no distinct feature, and a flaming sword of sorts. Though the flames seem to be like this steel blue gray flame.
Did the two of you draw this?
They just nod.
Thank you. This will be very helpful.
You know, there's little make an investigation check.
Anthony will help with that.
Okay. Thank you. 18.
Look at this picture that they drew, and while it is very crude, there seems to be little details that they added, like in the armor. Like, you're not sure if it's patches or pins or what it is or what decoration, but you said Anthony helped you?
Mhm.
Is that Anthony? The placement is not dissimilar of like, and there's not many of them, but the place is not dissimilar of like, what's it called? Like patches and medals that you would give like a soldier or something like that,
Mhm.
or things that would denote a higher rank. Basically,
Mhm.
doesn't necessarily mean soldier. There's not
I
many
think-
of them, but
Yeah, I think Anthony just peers at it and frowns deeply.
What is it?
If we continue down this path, we need to be careful.
Well, that was my plan the whole time.
Yes.
Since you two are in the know and I am not in the know, can we please explain the situation?
What do I know?
He just chuckles and then he pauses and kind of grimaces before he kind of taps his chest, and the old vicious of Anthony, silver hair, very tan skin, kind of reappears. When I looked like this, I served the Kalash court. My military was questionable at best.
And do you
Aren't
think
they all?
someone from Kalish did this?
We are the ones that perpetuated the war.
All right. Well, we'll investigate and try not to start a new one.
So what you're telling me is not to wear my medals over at Kalish.
Please don't do that. If it is the people I think it is,
make me a history check.
mhm. I love these fuzzy dice. 18.
While these, well, where they're placed, you're not sure if maybe it's just because of the drawing. They don't necessarily denote a soldier. More like just higher rank. It could be among soldiers, amongst guards, amongst agents. So it's kind of hard to tell if they are military or not. But it is something that denotes a higher rank. So you would assume it is in that world.
I think Anthony counts the number of medals on this particular being and kind of frowns.
It's not many. Maybe 1 or 2, 3.
1 or 2. They're not very high ranked.
Ooh, question.
Yes.
Are any of the medals distinctions? Because I know for a fact sometimes different medals mean different things depending on what their pinnage is.
Based on the drawing, it's not easy to tell.
Right, the kid's drawing.
Yeah.
Drawing. It is just basically scribbles that are in that area that kind of like ping that someone wearing armor and a mask, like, and a helmet, and this sort of like attire with those symbols.
It's just very general.
Yeah, like if
Okay.
you would draw generally, you would add like the stripes and stuff like that.
Okay.
Anthony, are there any specific units that were uniformed accordingly?
He kind of chuckles. You want to see mine?
You've seen mine.
He kind of jigs out his uniform that he keeps at the bottom of his bag.
I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
Weird, but okay.
I keep it with me just in case.
All
You
right.
gotta be prepared.
Well-
but if it is one of the people I think it is, we're going to go down a rabbit hole we might not climb out of.
I mean, that's nothing we haven't dealt with before.
Hmm.
All right. Well, first things first. Let's get some medical professionals here.
Hey.
More medical professionals that are fully equipped for the situation to assist the two of you in. And she points at back and forth at Vordrek and Rollin.
Ordric has flowers all over his beard that the pixies have put there.
Anthony drops the spell and kind of grimaces once he turns back into a drow.
Vordrek has like full on,
Vordrek likes every minute of the flowers.
Yeah.
full on flower crown, a lei of flowers, flowers in their beard.
Yeah. The pixies like them.
Just a walking Clarendon commercial.
Yeah.
Flora, will we be able to get back in through the same route that we came through previously?
You take one of my pixies with you.
Charlotte, would you mind being our leader again?
They just kind of stand up and give us anything for the boss.
Bless.
Anthony takes the drawing. Can I keep this?
If it was given to you, then it was given to you freely.
He nods and tucks it away into his drawing book and tucks it back into his bag.
As a courtesy, by the way, Flora says, I will not take your name, Mordric, even though it's giving out. She looks to Lucy.
Oh, right. That's the thing I had to worry about. Sorry.
You know, medical concern was more pressing than our own personal safety. Not for nothing. Just, all right, I'm
No,
gonna.
no, it's perfectly okay. You can have that name.
Are you giving me your name freely?
You can have that name.
Huh.
It is one in which I answer to.
I shall borrow the name that you answer to.
And I hope you see it as a gesture of goodwill, as our two forests overlap for a while.
I do. Like I said, this happens often. Not the infection, but the traveling between this realm and other realms. The infections are new. A land that is hurt will protect itself. And like I said, I don't wish to be bothered by many of yours and humanoids. Which is why I turned back the ones that did fall into this place as fast as we could. Hopefully they've been taken care of. But the blame of their hurt is to be put on the person that hurt me.
I agree entirely. All right. Anything else we need before we go?
Just love to talk to my husband.
Okay. Can we do that outside of this realm?
I assume so.
Am I to wait for more people to come into my space?
They will be here shortly, yes.
Should I expect any of you back?
Yes. We will lead them in and introduce them to you.
All right. They'll turn and look at Charlotte. Charlotte, you're in charge of our new guests. And there's kind of like a force behind the word guest. Not a bad one, but it basically denotes you as guests. So you shall be treated with politeness and respect and hospitality. And Charlotte nods. And you see for the first time a small smile on Flora's face. They give like a little head pat on Charlotte. And Charlotte just comes and sits on your shoulder, Vordrek. Puts another flower into your beard.
All right, Charlotte, you're in charge. Lead the way.
Okay, it's right there. Point to the portal.
Good job.
Fist
I'm
bump.
good at this being in charge thing.
The best.
You
I
are
have-
the best.
We have a lot to learn from you, I think. Lucy will head for the
I'm very
portal.
wise.
Mhm.
You can head for the portal, and there we'll call a break. It is been an hour and a half exactly, for me at least. So we'll be right back with this, with more shenanigans. So go take a break, go grab a snack, go to the bathroom, get some water, hydrate or die straight. You know what they say.
We will see you all in about 5 to 10. Everybody say
Yeah.
bye. Hello, everybody. We are back. Thanks so much for hanging out with us through the break. Thank you, everyone in chat, for redeeming your channel points, for advantages, for healing potions. We're probably
So
going to need those at
many.
some point. For inspirations. Y'all are fantastic. Thank you for coming back week after week and supporting the show. As always, this is a viewer-affected game. If you'd like to know how to do that, you can check the About Me description down below, which gives you all the ways that you can affect this game, both financially and not financially with channel points. I don't know of a better way to say that, but it is what it is. If you would like to directly support the players of this game and the things that we do on this channel, you can also support the channel financially by going to thehypegoblin.com and purchasing some merch. We have stickers of our main cast of this show, of other shows, and there will soon to be a new cast sticker set that is going up there soon. I don't know. It might be a new system that someone on this game is going to be running. It's going to be great. It's going to be fun. Thank you, everyone who has gone and purchased merch so that we can get some new character art for our upcoming Numenera game. With that, I'm going to go ahead and hand it back over to Satan. Satan, what are we doing?
I don't know. Let's find out. So as you left, what's Charlotte's? I'm just putting some references to what pixies look like for you guys. With Charlotte's help, you make your way out. Let me close this. This is all distractions. Make your way out of the clearing, the grove, and make your way back into the street, in through the forest that you know more of. I know. Did you put a string or did you mark things with chalk, Anthony?
Yes. But the trees is chalk.
Okay. Eventually you start seeing those marks on the trees where you left it to make sure that you had a path back. Charlotte is with you throughout it all, kind of talking your ear off about everything and everything but nothing at once. It's like kind of chit chat. And you're able to coordinate with your people. You send
Lucy's gonna
your Go
yeah,
ahead.
Lucy's gonna contact Fëanor at the court, assuming that he's already been contacted by the Lady of Twilight. And she will teleport back to court to pick up everyone that we want. Which we talked about it on break, everybody. We are picking up Fëanor, Jack, Ezra, and 3 nurse assistants from our medical unit back at court, and she will be bringing them back with her. She's also going to flop back to her true face, or to her not true face.
Her preferred face. So as you words have left me after during the break. So as you teleport back to the court, Fëanor, you don't see him at first, but a guard lets you know that they will be with you in a moment. They seem to be packing things up. Jack greets you. They are prepared and packed and have different bags, not overloading, but like they have a bag that has different things in it that different items and objects and tools that will help them in the situation. Eventually, you see Ezra come in. They don't seem to have anything with them other than like a little satchel bag. And then you see Banner come in with still a medical outfit, just more casual, like just their normal dress and like a doctor's jacket over it. Though something that's more, it's meant to be for going out and about than just being in a hospital. You see behind them 3 staff members carrying different bags, and they'll look to you, and Farah just goes, all right, let's get going then.
All right. By the way, I think Anthony wants to chat with you when you get there. I don't know if it's
Right.
private or not, but he had that look on his face.
The,
The one he
the-
gets, you know.
Yes,
yeah. Okay.
yes, I know. All right.
Yeah, she'll join hands with everybody and teleport them back
Yeah.
to the forest clearing.
Yeah, you can do that. And as you do, not far away from you guys, Vordrick, you see Fiona, who you had met before and had talked about the fungi that was growing on people and that you had seen within your forest. And you also see with them a younger man, tan hair, human, curly brown hair, tan skin, curly brown hair. There we go. And then another fake person. You see, they have these deep purple skin tone with blue and lilac hair, and they're dressed very, very nice. Not fancily where they are. They look out of place, but they clearly know how to put themselves together. And with Fanor, you see 3 other medical staff members. And it's Fanor that kind of walks up and speaks up. Okay. So, lead the way. Do you want to talk first? They look to Anthony.
I think the medical issue is prevalent.
Lucy's just looking at her shoes, whistling. I mean, we do have a bit of a walk to get back there, so, you know, if you want to go a couple paces behind, I can make sure that Charlotte leads us in the right direction.
There's also the setup time needed for the
Mhm.
operating thing. Lucy, come on.
Jack, come on. Ezra, come on.
They go.
Vordrick is
Weird.
thoroughly confused, but he carries on too.
A hand from off screen reaches over and grabs Vordrick by the shoulder.
There's a pixie there for a moment that then zooms back with you. All right.
What do they think we're going to do?
I don't know. Lucy said you want to talk to me, that you have the face that you get when you want to talk to someone.
Oh, I will probably be going back to Kalish.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Any specific reason? I mean, I have no issues with you going back there. Obviously.
Oh,
your
no, I
family's
know, I
there.
understand. It's just, if this Fey being, Flora, was harmed by one of those I served with or worked with or know of, I need to put it down.
Gives you that impression.
Artificer are using silver poisoned weapons. That's very Kalish.
Artificer, exactly.
He pulls up the drawing. And I think they're brownies. He pauses. Brownies and I don't know what the other ones are. Points out the weapon and then kind of flips through his book. It's a flame weapon, modern, she said.
Okay, there are many ways to get that.
Fëanor, you honestly think anybody in Aloria would deliberately do this?
You'd be surprised.
Kind of touches his face gently. Let's be frank.
Technically, I can't. I'm Fëanor.
Just kisses him.
I'm just saying that before you put yourself out in the middle, before you jump off the deep end, just make sure you know what you're doing and who you're talking to. Just because someone has a modern weapon like this does not mean that they themselves are an artificer. They could have gotten it from an artificer. There are many ways this could have happened.
Fine. But we both agree it's Kalish.
It's a possibility.
We were developing these weapons before we came here.
Very high possibility.
Lucy was
think-
exposed to those weapons.
I think you need to find the person who did this first.
Oh, I have a very high idea who did this first. Or at least who ordered it.
Who did it then?
Somebody working with the general.
Right? And who is this person that's working with the general? You have to go step by step. This is a thing that you like to do. You like to go straight to the deep end. Gotta wade yourself into the shallow water first.
Sorry, I already thought of that. I'm gonna ask Margaret to look into it.
Well, just in case, I don't know about you guys, but the Twitch kind of like says there's no broadcast. Just so you can check.
Just keep going.
Okay. Okay. All right. Just have them check. But I think it's more important to find out who, if they were under the general's command, and then obviously you don't have to take my advice, who this person is and how they made their way through here. Because not only did they do what they did to this Fae, but they were able to get in here and find this place and do so. They were able to get into Aloria, into Oakheart, into the forest.
I think it might be somebody who's able to monitor temporal slips. But it's a long shot, as temporal slips are new in our world.
They're hard to monitor.
It could be somebody within Oakheart working for Kalish. Someone who knows that the veil is thin.
Could be someone that doesn't even know what exactly they're doing. They're just following orders.
It's not an excuse.
It's not. Trust me, I know.
Kat just holds Fëanor for a moment. I don't know how going to approach this entirety. But if we do have to go back to Kalish, I don't know. Not a possibility I really thought of.
You have to go back to college, then you'll do so prepared, with support, and a plan.
He nods.
Do so just blindly.
I would never go back into their blind.
I know.
Yeah. He just kind of shakes his head. Anyways, you have a patient too.
I do. This is a long walk.
Just hold Fenor's hand. I mean, we should go to the Feywild as a family. Lucy, Vera, soon Christoph, Freya, George.
You want to go to the Feywild?
Well, it's part of you, isn't it?
It's my home, yes.
We said nothing between us.
I can plan something. I just didn't think that's someplace you wanted to go.
Have you seen it? He kind of laughs and just
I
pinches
have.
his cheek. It's beautiful.
You still
How dare
cringe
you hide
around-
that from me?
You still get worried around dryads. And that's not a mark against you. I just know that it is something that it is on your mind. I don't want to take you somewhere you don't want to be at, or where you'll be scared of something or uncomfortable with something.
I want to be in the Feywild because it's your home. Simple as that.
All right, just think on
And
it.
if Strut wants to come to my birthday party, I expect a gift.
Oh, right. Does
I
he
need
want
it.
to come to your birthday party?
Well, I invited him. It'd be very rude of him if he didn't come at this point.
Okay. That's strange.
He's your friend. I should be nice.
Yes.
But you really want to talk to your in-laws?
My in-laws.
My mother and father.
Oh, I love your parents. We get along great. I send them
Yeah.
letters every other week.
You write to my parents?
Yes. Do you not?
No?
Oh, I can understand the reason letters then.
Why do you write to my parents?
Send letters through the mail. It's a thing.
Why?
We get along.
He just throws up his hands. Do you have a parent?
Not really. Kind of just came into existence one day.
Do you have a tree I can write to then?
No, I don't know how. I don't know if it's offensive to write to a tree on paper.
I don't know either.
But I do not have a
Parchment.
tree. That still comes from trees.
Virus? That comes from reeds.
It's still a plant.
How about a rock?
You
Slate?
can make rock paper.
I'll do that.
We're bringing back stone tablets.
Yeah.
Apparently we are. Looks down to Bordrick. We're debating the philosophy of if
They've
it's
just
ethical
gotta-
to write a tree.
Yeah, they've just gotten closer to the group at this point. I don't have a tree for you to write to. It just came into existence one day. That's all you hear, Mordrick, as it come in.
I'm not looking to write to a tree, but thanks.
See, he knows what's I think.
I
Fëanor
talk to my
hadn't
trees
get
face
it.
to face or nothing.
That's fair. That's how they like more direct. First of all, they can't read. They don't have eyes.
Aren't you a tree?
I'm not a tree.
Pretty sure Havu is a tree.
I'm not a tree.
I'm
That's
pretty-
quite offensive, actually.
I'm pretty sure if
I
Fëanor
see.
says that he's not a tree, he's not a tree.
I'm not a tree.
However, if you
uh,
want to say that he is a treat, that is true.
I am a treat. Yes.
Absolute
Yeah,
delight.
he is.
Thank you.
Master Feanor might not be a tree, but he's certainly a fox.
Thank you.
Wait, I'm the fox.
You're the silver fox. There's more than one type of fox.
Should we get Anthony a hat that reads Foxy Grandpa on it?
First of all, I'm not a grandfather. Second of all, I would like that kind of hat.
I
would
mean,
really
technically you
actually-
are. Are you saying that you don't claim Peanut?
Books of peanut.
Peanut's just like happy feet trotting next to you.
There's a peanut. Okay.
Look.
Where?
I want 2 hats, Rylan.
They both can't say Foxy Grandpa on it.
I want a sun hat.
That reads Foxy Grandpa on it,
Yeah.
Just underneath.
just for him.
Yeah. Well, if you put a sun hat on, like kind of like towards the back, you can kind of see the brim. So it says Foxy Grandpa.
It's on the inside, so it's pressed up against his forehead. Foxy Grandpa.
You see it.
It's in reverse, so when he removes it, it's Foxy Grandpa
Yeah.
on his forehead.
Yeah.
That's weird. Anyway, here's the prognosis. Bleh.
But yeah, you talk about the prognosis, what you found, and you make your way through the hour or so trip that you made back to the portal. Charla's just kind of like leading you to through the right path, and then says, "I have found the portal."
Thank you, Charlotte.
You're very welcome.
You have been a capable and effective leader.
I have, haven't I? Laura will be very proud. She gives out treats when we do a good job.
Well, I hope you get your favorite one.
I do. It is a floral jelly. It's like candy rocks you can eat.
Delightful.
Crunchy on the outside and chewy on the inside. It looks like amethyst. It's really nice. To the portal.
Yeah. Lucy will go through.
You go through and it's the same experience, and you see to Ezra and Fëanor, they're not fazed by this. Some of the Jack and some of the assistants that came through are a bit more interested in it, as they are not Fae. But they make their way through. And you see Ezra kind of give us, and it's like, it's been a long time since I've been to a phase grove like this. It's very fascinating, really. Now, where is our patient?
I'll let Rollin take the lead on this one.
There is a clipboard that has appeared out of nowhere, flipping through it, talking medical jargon with everyone.
Yeah. You can all go help. Flora does come out and introduces themselves to the rest of you, and then they introduce themselves. Oh, excuse me. And eventually they get permission to kind of set up a little medical tent. It's nothing too big, but enough for them to work. And there's kind of like a little bit of like a from Flora, like so much man-made things. They don't really like it, but it's just new to them. But they're not saying anything. They're accepting the help. But while Rollin and the rest of the medical group goes to work, what are the rest of you doing? Wardrick, are you with them or are you doing something else?
I'd totally be with them, but like I said, I'm probably while they're doing all of that, I'm probably cooking.
Mm-hmm. You can do that. And you see that the other inhabitants of this little grove kind of lead you to a little area where it's safe, where you can make a campfire if you wish, set up everything, and they help you and they kind of start gathering ingredients for you. And some of those ingredients are mushrooms that are new to you. They are from the feywild, but they assure you that they are completely safe to eat and quite tasty.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I would, being that they were new to Vordrek, I would probably try, and depending on how many they have, I would probably try to, like, cook them in a variety of different ways.
Yeah.
To see how they cook up.
Yeah, you can definitely do that.
I also have a number of ingredients in my handy haversack as well.
Yeah.
To supplement things.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's kind of what I would do. I'd want to stay within earshot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can say with an earshot.
But definitely want to give basically everyone else something to think about. So nobody gets too, I don't know, in the way.
That makes sense. You can definitely be within earshot of the place. You're cooking for everyone, and like I said, they give you different ingredients, not just mushrooms, but leaves you can add, kind of like almost like wraps. If you put food in it, you kind of wrap them and eat them, and different spices and things you can use. Is a really nice new experience with different ingredients. And Anthony, what are you doing?
I think after he's done watching Fanor work like a fool in love that he is, he's going to take his Charlotte, the mechanical Ramirez, and gonna pull the amethyst gem from her and reform Charlotte into one of what it looks like one of the floral pixies, making a mechanical brassy floral pixie with this purple amethyst heart.
You get a strange reaction from the rest of them. They're not bad, but they're curious as to this metallic imitation of them. And you see even some of the dryads come out and look it over. They don't get close. They kind of sense that maybe it's not the right thing to do, but they kind of look it over from a bit away. Their heads maybe pop out of the trees.
I think Anthony will take the first step and invite them over to explain what he's done and explain the process and why he did it. It's more to honor their friendship and hospitality. Since Charlotte's, the name doesn't belong to the Ramirez or to this gym anymore. He's reforming her to show this friendship, show this bond and kinship that's been forged.
Gather around, and some of them are smaller and they seem shy. Some of them are older and they're kind of more taking the lead. And they don't talk much, but they look over what you're doing, and there's little faces of confusion, but fascination, and some understanding to what you're explaining to them. And some of them start kind of to like not tinker with it, but kind of play with it and kind of like look it over and amazed at how well it's imitated one of them. And you see the one that like was a willow tree dryad that's just covered in their hair, and you just see a part of them. They just see just a little smile as they kind of like play with it.
I think Anthony will sit back and say, well, I don't have the name Charlotte for her anymore. What name would you call her?
Hmm. Did you model them after any specific flower?
Probably modeled the one after Pretty because he really liked the floral
Mm-hmm.
design of that one.
Pretty's what type of flower?
Pretty was this. It's not really a hibiscus, but it's similar to a hibiscus, and that it's like a wide flower with stems, and it has this pink and red coloring to them.
I mean, flower language, hibiscus could mean joy,
Name Joy.
grace.
There is let me see. There is a species of plant called acacia, but as a name, it means friendship and love and beauty. It's the name of that. What?
No, when I said grace, my brain automatically went to yelling, Tana Gracelyn Glimspark.
The willow dryad will come over and just name them Blossom,
Awesome.
for a blossoming friendship.
Anthony takes out his notebook where he keeps detailed notes of all his constructs, robots, and developments and stuff. Scratches out the name Charlotte, writes under given to Fey Pixie in oak heart, and then writes renamed by Willow Dryad Blossom.
We have a new shape for your mechanical friend, a new name. Lucy, what are you doing?
Lucy is being a damn nuisance to Vordrek. She doesn't have much that she can do, so she and Peanut are attempting to help cook. She will get halfway through chopping something for you and then get distracted by one of the dryads or one of the pixies and wander off, only to wander back. You get the sense that it's understandable now why Lucy got kicked out of the kitchen and is not allowed back in at court.
Oh, it's perfectly fine. Vordrek would find things to have Lucy do that actually didn't matter to the recipe, but he could add them if she completed them. And if she didn't, he'd just save it for later.
None of it gets completed. I'm sorry.
Then he'd just save it for later.
It's just pre-made ingredients for later. It's fine.
Absolutely.
So as we get back to the medical tent, it's a few hours while this is happening. They're doing it very carefully and with caution as to something new, though they are treating it more of a burn than anything else. The procedure goes on for a while, and while Vordrek's making food, Anthony and Lucy are both helping and intermingling with the residents of this grove, as they have seemed to make friends with you. After a while, the tent opens up and Fowler comes out. Well, we seem to have done the best we can. We'll have to see how the wound reacts. I don't think it'll be an easy thing to recover from, but still recoverable.
Roland walks out of the tent behind Feanor, kind of taking off his sterilizing equipment. In the worst case scenario, couldn't we take a graft of the tree that Flora has come from? If they are of a dryad nature, then What I'm trying to say here is magically healing the tree might also expedite the healing of our patient here.
They are connected, yes. I don't know if grafting from the tree would help. The way Fae are attached to trees is a little different. But I think that healing of the tree would also help heal our Fae friend here. Yes.
With Flora's permission, Roland's going to have Vordrek come with him to the tree and inspect it for any similar scars.
It takes a while as she is waking up from anesthesia. But eventually you're able to get that permission to look. It is a wary permission. And Fanor is there to kind of help back up that claim and assure them that there's going to be no harm coming to them. From what you know of Fae, the attachment of Fae is different from Dryads, as Dryads are spirits that inhabit trees and they themselves are part of the tree, but this is slightly different and a bit more intricate. But you eventually do get the permission and you're able to go there. As you said, it was you and you were taking Wardrick with you?
Yeah.
Okay. You can both make me an investigation check, or one can give advantage to the other.
I'll give Vordrek advantage and some bardic inspiration.
Yeah. You can use investigation or nature if it's you, Vordrek.
I would prefer nature then. So yeah.
Yeah, you can do that.
My inspiration is a D6, Chris.
Okay. I forgot how to tell beyond 20 to roll with advantage, so I'm just doing
No,
it
it's fine.
twice.
No worries. 18.
And then inspiration was a D what?
6.
And I'll roll that as well. Not pulling any punches.
You got this.
Only one, so 20.
20 still very good. So as you investigate this, you look it over, it is very obvious, especially to you, someone who knows the intricacies of plants and greenery and flora. This is a very old tree, very, very old tree. It is twisting and gnarled, not in a bad way, just in the way that trees grow. And it forms a half canopy as it spreads over part of the grove. And while some of the roots do come up from the ground around it, they go deeper and deeper than you can even see through, even if you were to dig a little bit. And there's a sense of life within this tree. Obviously, plants and trees do have a life within them. In this case, it is more obvious that this is a living, breathing being. It's not breathing like we do, but
I mean, plants still breathe.
Yeah.
Especially trees, so I get it.
There is a sense of natural magics that you get from this tree that even it's so intense that you don't even have to make a check or anything, you just feel it because you're attuned to that same natural magics of sorts, even though it's slightly different. And this tree, and you would assume by association flora, they've lived longer than any of you have been alive, longer than you or your predecessors have been alive. This is an old tree. And as you inspect it, you do see part of it that looked like it had wood rot, and
Hmm.
there was between grooves of gnarled branches on the trunk, of gnarled roots on the trunk, you see the same slash, this purpley black ichor that comes from it. And it seems to be healing now, though slower.
Okay. I think what I'm going to do is just need to read the description here. I'm going to cast plant growth, which since we had time, I figured I would just go and
Yeah. Go ahead.
prepare. And so it can, I really only need to focus on this tree, but so the spell itself, if I can't cast it at a higher level, but if I take longer to cast it increases the radius in which it affects. I would prefer to try and keep it concentrated, but still intensify.
Still get the longer time effect, but instead of like the radius, more of the concentration in the one spot.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that. I'm more than happy to.
And if you need me to like make some sort of roll to try, like religion or something to try and manipulate the spell, I'm happy to.
I would say so. Yeah, just to see how much of that magic concentrates. I would say it's up to you whether you use religion or nature.
Well, I'll stick with nature then, since that's been
because
kind of where
because your magic is not necessarily like from the arcane weave or celestial or stuff like that, because it is natural magics. I am more than happy for you to use nature for this.
Okay, I will do that. I'm just trying to make sure there's nothing else that I can do in here to bolster what I'm doing. No, I think that's about it. So obviously I'm going to tend to it like it is a plant, because it is a plant. So before I cast, I'll take my time cleaning the area, scraping out any of the rot, cleansing it with water, and repeating until I feel like the tree's down to healthy growth again. And then take the 8 hours, even if everybody else leaves.
How do you cast this spell? What does it look like as Vordrick casts this plant growth?
So for Vordrick, being connected to the earth specifically much more than any other part, his connection to spores and the cycle of regrowth from decay into new life, he would take basically the harmed material, the rotted material, any sort of fallen leaves or broken branches or whatever, and he would create over amount of time like this wood mulch poultice, and slowly pack it in around the places, blessing each spot where he applies this poultice, and repeating over and over again until it's thoroughly covered. At which point it would be a simple and what looks like quiet communion with the tree itself. He'd take off his shoes and and socks and get his feet in the dirt and earth itself, like the tree's roots, and sit with the tree and just kind of commune with its life force, and focus its energies onto that healthy growth and away from other areas that might be less less fortuitous, less productive for the tree.
As you do this, you take your time picking up the plant matter of this tree, the wood rot, and making this poultice, applying it. And once you're ready to sit down and connect to the life force of this tree, it's almost as if the world around you fades. And with your eyes closed, and as you concentrate your magic and your time into this one spot, you can sense the heartbeat of this tree, the interwoven networks of life. You can sense every bit of life force from the tip of every branch to the tip of the roots. And you can see the pathways that these roots connect. These roots travel, and you see them connect to other trees, other flora, creating homes for animals and creatures. You can sense each bit of pollen, each bit of flower and seeds that sprout from this tree. And even then, as these seeds move with the wind and plant, elsewhere you can sense almost like a mother tree. You can sense where these seeds have taken root and where they have been planted within this grove. And throughout the interconnecting network, you also sense, specifically because of your druid circle, the interconnecting network of mycelium throughout the underneath of the ground, as it wraps around the roots and connects one tree to the next. And you are able to sense this overwhelming fount of life. And your magic washes over it, and it connects with you, and you feel yourself, even if just for a moment, become part of this network. And you can feel, as you redirect the nutrients and the proteins and all the good stuff to help heal this tree, you can feel your magic redirecting it through the mycelium network, through the root network, the other trees acknowledging what you're doing and working with you as they help pass some of this life force, some of this nurturing magic from you into this tree. And you sit there, and for you, it is a moment that lasts forever, yet too short, as you can feel within you your own network, your own blood vessels, and your own energy network within your body and your veins, and that network connect in a way, not physically, you don't grow and sprout things, but you can feel your own energy connect and beat your heartbeat in tandem with this tree. And you feel yourself connected to this tree, and by default, Flora, as this tree is her, is them. And you can sense the pain that this wound has caused, the rot that it has brought, and the hurt that it has spread throughout this grove, their grove, that they so lovingly have created. It's this almost gnarled, twisted energy that is surrounding this scar. But with your work, with the poultice, with your magic, with the help of the living beings around you, you are able to redirect that into this spot and help it heal and help it scar over. And while it takes a while, it takes you, I would say, the full 8 hours. As you open your eyes, the sky is still blue. Time has not passed here the same way that it has passed in the material plane. In front of you, where you apply this poultice, it is a scarred over area where the spoon was, and you see moss and even the visible mycelium network growing over it, plants sprouting over it, vines growing to patch it up. And you feel the scar heal. And as it heals, it's like taking the first breath after being underwater for the longest time.
What's everybody else doing?
What's everybody else doing?
Probably sleeping. If you're going to be doing that for 8 hours, Lucy will probably ask where they can set up camp and organize a spot for folks to get some rest.
Yeah. We can definitely do that. There will be spots within the grove. Like I said, it's a big grove, big enough to accommodate everyone happily. You can set up tents, and you see the dying embers of a campfire, tents with very faint light within them.
There's probably the soft sound of a lute as Rollin is keeping watch.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably his turn to make sure that Flora is comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Peanut took up a spot by Flora, wherever she's resting at, and his full belly up in the air, feet outstretched, legs outstretched, snoring.
Flora is at the other side of this tree, nestled within the giant roots of it. And Peanut can happily be there as well.
Little root hammock for Peanut next to her.
Got flowers all over his fur. Little flower crown.
Anthony had taken his 4 hours, and then the next 4 hours he had started knitting and has a series of small sweaters for several of these fey creatures that he's just kind of fitting on them.
Just little tiny sweaters.
Yeah.
Okay. That's so cute. I love it.
It's the color shift yarn that he got, so it changes colors. He's just leaning against Fanor as he's done talking about this and that. He's just having a conversation. Not about work, it's just about everything and anything. Soon's doing his own things, just kind of running around the camp, checking on everything, kind of runs into Rylan a few times and then runs away, does it again, then kind of climbs up on top of his head.
We'll let Soon scuttle down his arm and pick at a note.
Soon does the thing that cats do and just kind of
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that after seeing all of that, Roderick would kind of take it all in and then probably be very quiet. What kind of happened was intimate in a sort of way that
Yeah.
you wouldn't want to discuss it because that would feel like a betrayal.
Mhm. It is. It was very intimate.
And so he would just kind of like check on things. And if everything looked in order, he'd probably just vibe.
As you walk, Flora catches your sight, and their eyes are looking at you. There's no specific. There's no anger, no hurt, no anything, no judgment. Just a look interchanged between the two of you.
Vordrek would, like, I guess, for lack of a better phrase, accept the look and then just kind of like give a nod.
I'll give a nod back
to acknowledge it. But again, not saying anything. Kind of, I don't know, like basking in that glow of a spiritual event, so to speak, and just taking it all in.
Yeah. Looking at this picture of Flora nestled into the giant roots of this tree, which is her and she is it. Having that intimate connection, you can see now as they breathe, you can sense the movement of the tree working in tandem with their breathing, whether it is how the branches lift with the wind or how the leaves rustle. You can see that connection. Yeah.
Vordrek would appreciate that, but again, very quietly and to himself.
It is just something that you are now attuned to after that situation. But as you all settle, you are welcome to take a rest with this newfound appreciation, not just for Flora, but for the grove in itself. Your new connection to it, as that experience left you with a permanent connection of sorts. It wasn't something that left you entirely.
I dig it.
And you're able to rest with the rest of the group. And I think we'll leave it off there. And we'll come back next week. So we maybe have to find out who exactly inflicted this wound in the first place.
Sounds good. Let's go ahead and go around and do our usual outros.
We'll start off with our lovely guest as well, and we'll go in the same order, and then I'll go last. So,
hey everybody, I'm Chris Geary. You can find me here on Sundays for this arc, 10:30 on the Hype Goblin. You can also find me over on the Feyforge Academy on Thursdays at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, for 3 more weeks as we conclude a mini arc called the Reclamation Project, where 4 heroes who sort of lost what they were over time and neglect are reclaiming their identities as they explore some of the lost lore of the world of Avastria.
thank you for that. And RJ.
Sorry, I had to burp. Hey, everybody, I'm RJ. You catch me on the interwebs, but today, championing Unicorn Riot. Unicorn Riot is a decentralized nonprofit media collective, and they report on groups of the far-right organization and sources of racial and economic injustices in the U.S. Get your media unfiltered, because it's heavily filtered in mass media form. That's me.
Jan.
Hi, I'm Jen, and I champion the Little Princess Trust in the UK. They provide real hair wigs for free of charge to children and young people who have lost their hair either through cancer treatment or other conditions. Since 2006, they have provided over 12,000 wigs and have been given grants totaling up to 17 million towards research projects focusing finding on more effective treatments for childhood cancers.
Thanks, Sarah.
You go ahead and go. I'll go last.
Okay, totally forgot about that. Hi everyone, my name's Satan. You can find me on the interwebs in different places. Names are around. But you know what's really cool? Helping people be themselves. So if you would like to help people be themselves, you could check out the EqualityTexas.org organization or the Organización Latina de Trans en Texas, which is a Latin organization of trans people for trans people, as they fight against bills that are attacking the trans youth in Texas. So if you'd like to check out those sites and see how you can help, go ahead and click those links.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And last is me. Hey, everybody. As always, my favorite charity of choice is the trevorproject.org. They provide crisis counseling support to the LGBTQIA plus youth community, as well as a bunch of wonderful educational resources. In addition to the Trevor Project, which I donate all of my Twitch income to, I would also like to highlight that our community is going to be participating in a charitable event April 9th and 10th. Our wonderful, wonderful friend Saucefire of Saucefire TV is once again running a 24-hour Dungeons and Dragons stream. I shake my head at him too, RJ.
The mad lad.
Benefiting Child's Play. Child's Play is a organization which we have shouted out here before, so we're going to go ahead and do it again. They provide gaming equipment and things like board games, handheld gaming systems, full-on gaming systems to kids who are in the hospital getting treated for a wide variety of medical conditions, just to make the experience a little less traumatic and give them a little bit of an escape. And we really love working with them. And this year you will find me there in the very first game, along with Brian Gray or Urban Bohemian on Twitter, and Jack Packard playing in the very first game of the session. But you will also see pretty much everybody from this channel in chat throughout the entirety of the 24-hour experience. So please mark your calendars and join me there. We're going to raise money for a very good cause. And with that, we're going to go ahead and say, take your meds, drink some water, eat something healthy today, and tell someone important to you that you love them. We'll see you next time, y'all. Bye.